Hey everybody, late night greetings. Today is May 25th, 2018. It's my day 2.015, and it is definitely late at night, as you can tell by the room being so dark and a shift of camera and light here. Really just moved my monitor an inch. It's not really a big deal, but anyway, um, just want to give a little bit of an update for the blog. We're at surgery would have been 8 weeks and a day ago. So 8 weeks of recovery in a day. And I just want to record that I did have a little bit of a success today with a little bit of an orgasm. Not, I even hate mentioning it just because it's on my mind and therefore it's on the blog. I don't necessarily, it wasn't like the orgasm, the TV orgasms or orgasms that I had been privy to previously vicariously, but there was a moment that was like a movement. That was it. That's pretty good. That's exactly what it sounded like too. And then it was gone, and took me a while to get there. Took me a long while to get there, and finally I just got tired and I kind of gave up. But I wonder, excuse me, about it's so, everything I say is going to be a pun. It's so hard. I think it does a lot of damage. Like, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about breaking it. But it's kind of like rubbing a genie's lamp. I did have a little bit of success with the rub, 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 tap, 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 rub, rub, rub method. But finally, it was the vibrator that kind of got me going. And had I continued, I used the sucking vibrator. And had I continued, I would have flipped it over and used the other end. But I just got too tired. And like I said, I'm kind of afraid of breaking it. I don't know. Still healing somewhat. I did notice today, though, that there was a lot of, after my evening bath, or evening shower rather, douche, evening douche, that from the clitoris area, there was a lot of that, what used to be the schmutz. I used to call it schmutz. It's the tissue kind of breaking down as it heals, excess tissue. There was a little bit of that fluid that was running down the channel from between the top of the pee-pee and the down past the clitoris into the happy hole canal. I watched a video yesterday about, and it was actually pretty decent, about how to make a girl climax, and it was done by a sex therapist. So it was not like two girls, two middle-aged women in their garage making a video. It was actually a professional sex therapist, and she actually had like a puppet, which somebody must have made. That was, different parts of the talked about the labia and the clitoris hood and how to stimulate and whatnot. And it was actually pretty. I wish I would have favorited it. But I kind of did some of what she said, and I think that kind of helped a little bit. But again, it was not. The plane didn't get off the ground. I mean, it was a sputtering out, but it felt really good for the fraction of a second that it worked. So I'm hoping that means that things are healing and connections are being made and everything else. But by no means is it, it's just, I think for the blog's sake, a little bit of noteworthy, because every video I've seen so far about post-op, it's at 3 months. And so this is two months and a day. So uh, probability wise, based on that, at some point in the next 4 weeks, I should climax. But we'll see. We'll see. We're not giving up. Oh, product placement. Um, that really is just about it. It has definitely been a hard week, life wise. It's definitely been. This is my manager, my work manager, and I were kidding today because it was timesheet day, and he said something to me about, yeah, this is your first timesheet, and it's true. It's my first. I've done my first 80-hour, two weeks back to back of 40 hours, and so kind of life has moved on somewhat, and it really I just wanted to cry all week long, And someone had posted just a couple minutes ago on one of the other videos about how, just how much our bodies are changing after surgery, and definitely I would agree with that. There's definitely been, well, let me rephrase that. A lot of mental changes, which I guess you could say, as the body is rewiring or whatnot. I do feel like, and maybe it's just happy wishing or hopeful wishing, that my breasts have gotten a little bigger. I've noticed they're doming a little more. Not necessarily coning, but doming. And so my hope is that's always a growth spurt is about to happen. I mean, that's always the hope. I've never met a trans woman who said, my breasts are too big. Let me put it that way. So, but just mentally, it's been kind of hard this week. It's been hard to work my job, dilate the number of times that I need to, and go back. I was cracking jokes, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday about how, it's like I dilate for 20 minutes, and within 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, I'm back at work. I'm back at my desk working, and it's like, by the time you catch your breath, you're like, you know what, 120 seconds ago I was dilating, and now I'm logging back in. And my workplace has been very, very cool. My manager has been very, very cool with giving me some leeway, but yeah, like I said, it's by the time I get the 5th dilation in, I'm beat, and I think that'll change. I'm hoping that they get stamina as it goes along. And I did feel a little bit of flutter today of interest in some of my other hobbies. I'd mentioned that earlier in the week. Last weekend, I just lost all interest in everything, hobbies, extra stuff like painting and modeling and gaming and all the things that I kind of have done. Just no interest in it whatsoever. So, and really, that's all I can think of. The day is starting to take its toll on me. It's my bedtime, so normally I go to bed. But like I said, I wanted to record a little bit about that. A little bit of the and then nothing. So we can hope that, like I said, we can hope connections are being made, and obviously, everybody's mileage is going to be different. My mileage is going to be different. There's no standard. There's no acid test that I know of. I mean, we all heal differently. Our bodies are so very different. And I had a couple of moments this week where I thought, I'm never going to climax. I'm never going to orgasm. And it was really sad, not kill yourself sad, but pretty close. I had my lawnmower broke down, and I was out fixing it. And maybe for the briefest of moments, I thought about, if I took the blade and cut my throat, But then I was like, no, you've come too far. But isn't it interesting not interesting. That's not the right word, but if this was, if we were playing Candyland, that has a beginning and an end. We need something that doesn't have a beginning and an end. To get so far on the board, we'll say Monopoly. That's a circle. To get to Baltic Avenue. That's earlier on. I'm afraid I've forgotten a lot of my properties, but to get to the last railroad, or even I don't want to say Park Place or Broadway or Park Place because it's like the last two properties on the board. But to get to like the last 5 or 6 properties or the last railroad, luxury tax I think is also out there, and to just turn around and give up. You've made it. You've gotten past jail. Maybe you picked up free parking money if that's the way you play. You've made it past all the things and the traps and other people's properties, and then you're almost collect to your $200, and you're like, I give up. It doesn't make much sense. And granted, when you're in that suicidal depression mode, you're not thinking rationally. I know I don't. Although it's the rational that pulls me back in. So, anyway, my friends, that's it. Just wanted to mark some time here and talk about. We persist. I mean, we're survivors. Tess called it when she said we are survivors. We take it, don't we? And I had someone else ask me too about. I always want to know, do you regret it? And the answer is obviously hell no. But is it what I thought it would be? No. And I guess right now, since I'm not, again, I've had the climax ish. I've had the sputter. That makes me feel like there is going to be some return on the investment. Possibly it's given me a little bit of food for thought about it. But yesterday when I was dilating, I was just like, is this going to be my life? Am I going to dilate every day and not feel the not feel the sexual gratification of it, not feel the, what I mean, the release of it. It's very, let me give a good example here. It's like taking, it's a candle holder, obviously, and a candle, and you're just doing this, get it in there. Hang on, we got a cat crossing. So it's one of those things. It's not sensual. It's not sexual. I mean, it's an act, I suppose. But is this it? When like I said, when I was sitting there, I'm like, is this it? Is this, Yes, I don't have a penis, but I'm not getting the feeling. I'm not getting the gratification. I'm not getting the emotional. And maybe that's something entirely different. To be in a relationship with someone and maybe that makes you feel better. To not have that and to have this thing that you do. I mean, ultimately, I guess I'll do it three times a day, 2 or 3 times a day, but we're now 5. And I really should switch over to 3, I think. It's been 2 months. But, excuse me. Again, it makes me go, okay. And again, is it, yes, there's enough of a change to say, yes, it was definitely worth it. It was definitely the right decision for me. I made the right decision for me to do it. Because if I hadn't done it, I would have always wondered about it. And maybe, and this is something that the other person who posted a couple minutes ago on one of the videos, she's like, let's hope that we reap the benefits of what we've done. And that's probably a good way to put it. I hope for everyone and whether they have surgery or not, that they reap the benefits of this process. The transition work. Transition at work. You go full time. I do think going full time is probably 95% of what it is to transition. You know, and I've yet to, like I said, I've yet to experience the of 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 GCS other than um, not having a penis, which I guess is the whole point of it. But today, my daughter and I went shopping, and the store was not very clean, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked into the bathroom, and of course, the ladies' bathroom is always such a mess. I mean, it's always so messy. Um, and I was just like, ooh, I don't want to sit in that. And I pulled down my panties, and while I was there, I checked to make sure, it's habit, you check your pad to make sure that it doesn't have a bunch of gunk in it. And I'm happy to say that uh, very rarely now, very rarely do I have anything in my pad or my panty liner. I don't have, like I said, I'm pretty much, I think things have I'm at the tail end of this, at least from a healing point of view. But again, I looked over in the weeks come when I used to clean the bathroom. So I was a janitor. I don't know if I ever mentioned that at one point in time. I was a janitor, and I used to call them the blood buckets. The tampon buckets, and that's the kind of thing that I guess it makes you go, okay, it was worth it. Because if your pad was full, you'd swap it out and put a new one in. You'd put your pad into the blood bucket. You'd make your contribution. Red badge of courage. So there's definitely enough non-sexual things, which I guess is what I'm going towards. I put on my bathing suit, for example, the other day, and I didn't have the lump in it. So I mean, there are definitely some things, but like I said, I've not quite reaped the benefits yet, other than the non-sexual things, which probably should be the majority of the aha, I did the right thing. But there's part of me that's like, one more than that. I got my nails done today, so I'm back to my normal color, which I'm glad about. But there was a guy who was getting a pedicure. And he probably was a little bit older than me, but he's in the bath, and unfortunately, the little Asian lady, I hate this, I mean, she's there, just scrubbing his feet and everything, and he's in the water, he can't get out, and I just wanted to walk over to him and like grab his nose, I have your nose. And for a moment, I looked at him and he looked at me, and then a couple minutes later I looked back at him, he was watching me, and I guess I felt a little interest in him, and so that's what I wanted to do while he couldn't get out of the pan, is walk over there and grab his nose. I probably should have done it. But I guess if the roles were reversed, would that be sexual harassment if he walked over to me and pulled my nose? I don't know. I told my daughter yesterday, well, I'm just babbling now. I used to, in a previous life, as a father, you kind of like to tickle, if your kids are sitting there doing their homework, you kind of tickle them in the side, make them laugh. And there have been a couple times where, I've walked up to my daughter and I said, now, I want to share with you that just how much the estrogen has changed me, because normally I would try to walk up and tickle you, but I'm reformed over that, And she kind of chuckled, but All right, I've run out of steam. I apologize for babbling on a little bit, but I did want to share some stuff and kind of give an update. I know I've had some wacky videos, but this is a wacky process. Who would have guessed, right? So, all right, my friends. Till next time, I wish the best of luck to everyone. Good luck in becoming the best version of yourself as you see fit, and we'll keep up with the blog. All right. Good luck.